Hi everybody, this is Roberto Osti, and this is the first video where I will show you how to draw the skull from the front view. The second video will deal with the side view of the skull. This is the final result, what we will have at the end of the two videos. So let's focus now on the front view of the skull. I'm using some tone paper. I like this mildly toned paper. And what is it? This is Strathmore Tone Tan, but you can use any paper you want. It doesn't make a difference. Let's, as you can see, I have already blocked in a faint outline of the skull, right, from the front view and from the side view, so that we know exactly where everything is going to go, right? So let's start by drawing a circle. This circle will represent the cranial volume, right? This is an easy way I kind of come up to draw the specific typical proportional relationship of the skull without going too crazy in measuring, right? So draw a circle and find the center. Always check after you block in the center. Check if you have the right spot, right here and here. Take this measurement now and bring it down like this. So this is the cranial volume, and that is going to be the chin, right? So from the cranial volume here, from the side of the cranial volume, I'm going down to the chin, creating now the facial mask. So I have the two main components of the head, right? Cranial volume and facial mask. So at the same time, I also divided the face or the head in three equal segments. Here at the center of the circle, I have the first third, right? And this is going to be the brow ridge. Here is the base of the nose at the second third here. And the mouth is going to be not halfway between the nose and the chin, but closer to the nose than to the chin, meaning that the space between the nose and the mouth is smaller than the space between the mouth and the chin. Let's find out. We have a pretty kind of regular schematic view of the head. So gradually what we want to do, we want to start adding more and more organic element of typical of the skull. Let's start with the angles that we can find around the profile of the head. So the widest point of the skull is here at the upper third here, right? It's here. This is the widest point, right? In here, this point here is not so evident. It's just a slight change of angle from this to this, right? From this to this, right? So I move up now, and about halfway or so between the widest point in here and the top of the skull here is the temporal ridge. Temporal ridge is basically the passage between the side plane to the top plane, and it's not easy to see. It's kind of a smooth passage, right? But let's say it's about here, right? So now here at the top of the head, I also have I could draw a regular curve, but it's more correct to make a little bit of a crest, right? Not a crest, but just barely a sharp point in here, right? The top of the head, just to mark the angle, the passage from when I reach the top, and then I start going down to the other side, and eventually reach the temporal ridge and down to the widest point. For now, we're going to keep this portion in here all the way down to the corner of the jaw smooth and uniform, and later I'm going to carve out the ramus of the mandible here, right? But for now, we just find the corner of the jaw, right? The corner of the jaw. Where could that be? Well, the corner of the jaw is typically a little bit below the line of the mouth. So here, right? And I have another change of angle here, right? So that's the corner of the jaw right here. And that's the chin, right? So I have an angle here, corner of the jaw, chin. And up again, right? So now, but this is the outline of a face with the muscles, but I'm dealing with the skull. So this round forming here is because the masseter muscle, which is positioned here, right? Positioned here, fills in all this space in here, right? So if I take out this portion of the flesh in here, this is much narrower. It goes up kind of straight, not straight, but you know, much straighter than the curved profile of the jaw. So let's see how to obtain that. Okay, so let's find before we work out the ramus on the mandible, let's find out where the zygomatic, the base of the zygomatic bone is. The bottom of the zygomatic bone, the lower margin of the zygomatic bone, is at the level of the nasal opening, right? So I have found now conveniently the nasal opening here, right, at the lower third. I draw a line like this, and this line here is going to give me the lower margin of the zygomatic bone. Okay. So find now the horizontal midpoint, right? Horizontal midpoint. Take the measurement, eyeball it, and then see if it's there. And why do I need that? Because the irises will be above this line in here. So I can block in the iris in here, and even though it's called the skull, I don't have the eyeball, right? But position the iris, help me in position the eyeball, and help me in positioning the orbit, right? Eventually, I'll get rid of that, right? But eventually, I can just guess the position, you know, of the eyeball and the iris for now. But as I develop this drawing further, I just will move the eyes if I see they're not centered properly, right? All right, so the nasion, or this is the nasion, right? This is the nasion. That's the beginning of the nose. Right? Above here I have the glabella. Here is the nasion, right? And this is the nasal bone, right? The nasal bone here like this. So then the nasion here is a little bit above the iris. So having blocked in the iris now help me also in positioning the beginning of the nose. The glabella is here. It's almost like the keystone of the brow ridge. See, that's like an arch, and that's a keystone of this arch here. And that's the brow ridge, right? Brow just like gently curved like this, right? And the brow ridge is at the level of the upper third, as we have already mentioned, right? So when we draw the brow ridge, make sure that when you curve the last portion,